Give me a sense of what you will do. What is your intention with that BT stake?
Look, Francine, hi. The first thing, in the first quarter last year, we had a value up of 2.5 billion. In the fourth quarter, we had a value down of 2.2 billion. This all nets up to 300 million positive. So don't look just on one quarter, just look on the story. BT is a great asset, it's a great company, number one in mobile, number one in fixed, number one in business, number one in content. And it's exactly the portfolio which we are driving in our businesses in Germany as well, or in Europe. And therefore, nothing is changing. We do everything to support the BT stock, the management and the team, that they could do better. That's our role as a partner. And we're going to see. You're going to see it recovering. No. I'm convinced in this team and in this business.
No, I understand, but why was it moved to the non-core unit? That's what happened, right? Which is why investors, I think, are trying to figure out what your intentions are, is that you moved the BT stake into a non-core unit, which could actually give suggestion to the markets that you're looking to sell.
Look, at Deutsche Telekom, we have our classical, business units. But aside from that one, we have built a kind of corporate development unit, which is more entrepreneurial, more independent in the way how they're doing it. We have the Dutch business there, where we could do some M&A, where we could do, let's say, more a private equity approach, more an investment banking, freedom, not, putting them into the silos. Our minority shareholders are in this portfolio as well. I call it the opportunities. So, we will see how we develop and value out of this portfolio. This is going forward. But with regard to BT, nothing has changed.
All right. Can good old-fashioned telecom companies and telecom giants such as yourself compete with Amazon, Google, and IBM?
So that's what we're doing every day. Look, Deutsche Telekom had a great year. We were growing by 6% on revenue, 8% on EBITDA, on our profitability, and 9% on free cash. We are able to increase over the last 2 years our dividend payout by 20%. We are doing everything to improve our position. We are providing the connectivity for all the internet models. So we are more in a kind of co-opetition model. We're trying to work with these guys, with the Googles, with the Amazon, the Facebook of its world, and that our customers experience the best internet services in our infrastructure. And what we are trying to do is ubiquitous data access. I want to have a network wherever you are, you have the fastest data access. Then you automatically will create revenue. And that was the success model which we have seen in the US and as well in Europe.
You have been with the firm for 17 years. It's a single-digit result, granted 9% over the last decade in euros, 7% in US dollars. I want to know the view forward. You've mentioned twice that you have a portfolio approach. I and Craig Moffett want to know what you're going to do in M&A to advance the portfolio. Is it about getting rid of weak assets, or is it about acquisition to get you to a double-digit space?
Look, the first thing is in the telco space, Deutsche Telekom is the fast-growing entity here in Europe. And we are by far now the biggest one. Our follower Vodafone has a market cap which is 10 billion lower than ours.
Right.
So we have significantly improved, by the way, how we're doing things over the last years. The second thing is how I'm looking at the things. If you cannot do something which is improving the value of that company by doing it on a standalone basis, you always have to consider M&A, partnerships and other things to improve the value of the situation. So the best owner question is always a good question to be in. I think we are doing very well in the integrated market these days. There are some smaller markets where we might consider that. And in the US market, and that might be your question, look, we have done a terrific job on improving. We have invested significantly into this business, almost 20 billion euros over the last 2 years alone into the LTE infrastructure. And therefore, let's check all the optionalities which are there.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I love the Magenta behind you. How are you going to bring the Magenta worldwide? Do you need John Legere to run everything worldwide in wireless? Are you going to see the price battle worldwide that you brought on in America?
You know, winning is always a mentality. And we have 45,000 people in the US on the ground, people with Magenta heart. I love them all. They are the reason for the success. It's a great team which we have there. We have the same attitude and the same mentality here in Europe in 12 markets where we are operating. This is the Magenta family. And we are not, you know, striving for a world leadership for Magenta. We just want to be leading in the markets where we are operating. There's no expansion idea, but there's a lot of opportunities in the markets where we are operating on the ground. And there's still a lot of growth in the US, which we foresee.
Tim, do you worry a little bit about politics in Germany? And we see really Europe in certain cases at the brink. You have crucial elections in France, then you go on to Germany, where Angela Merkel is being challenged by Martin Schulz. Do you worry about having a German discount 8 months from now?
No. Look, the first thing is, if you compare the two markets in which we are operating, it's good to be in as Deutsche Telekom in a portfolio in US and in Europe. It's a good hedge. The second observation, the US telecommunication market is better from its regulation side than the European market. Europe is very fragmented. We have 28 regulators. We do not have a digital single market in our footprint. And I'm fighting more for getting this disadvantage out of the way, that we really create one common market here in Europe. With regard to the German position, look, in Germany, we are investing on an annual basis 5 billion euro. We are investing 20% of our sales into infrastructure. So whoever is, you know, leading this country needs us, because we have to make this society more digital, being in the B2B and in the B2C side. And therefore, I see our duty, which we have as the market lead in all these categories. But at the end of the day, you know, we are not a political company. We are, you know, driven by the markets, and that is our intention going forward as well.
Are you worried about regulation? You mentioned that you want to make this a digital society. You have Donald Trump deregulating the heck out of a lot of the industries, including yours, where Europe, it's a different story.
Look, that's true. And I think Europe is by far overregulated. It is one of the reasons that a lot of the investments are not taking place in the European markets. This fiber regulation, which was true 20 years ago when all the incumbents, you know, get deregulated, is not, you know, adapting the current situation. We want to go into cooperation models, but the moment I do a cooperation with somebody, automatically I infect the small companies with the regulation I'm bringing to them, which is stupid, which is not fostering investments. Same is true for spectrum. In the US, you can buy spectrum, and then you're more efficient the way trading the spectrum. In Germany or in Europe, we are renting spectrum for 15 or 20 years. And if we are not getting it again, our business is out. So the efficiency of the spectrum is significantly less productive. And this kind of difference we have to overcome. I think the US is in a lot of areas a blueprint for what we have to do in the European single market as well.